Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tamisha, also known as Mrs. Coda, bringing you another video. So today I have a juicy topic for you. So we're going to be talking about the do's and the don'ts of documentation so you do not get sued. All right, let's jump into the video. Hey, y'all. So this is a topic that can be very scary, especially for a new grad. But these are the things that you do need to know about documentation. And I'm going to break it down right now for you. So the first thing you need to understand is what needs to be documented. So what needs to be documented is, for sure, you need to have a doctor's order. So the first thing is you definitely need to have a doctor's order. You need to show that there is medical necessity. All right. Services provided needs to support services billed. Okay. That needs to be on one accord. So services provided must be skilled services. It cannot be a maintenance program. For example, like a exercise routine, right? It has to show there's a reason for skilled OT services. So that is the bulk. That's the meat. That's the most important thing. Now we're going to dive a little bit deeper. So I'm going to give you an example of a billing no-no. Okay. So in the past, I know when I was working, and I think unfortunately, I think some therapists are still doing this, but it's very important because I've noticed that this is really getting flagged, is that people are billing for patient education. Now, before you were able to get away with it, and I do feel like even in some documentation cases, people are just billing, patient education, and that's it. But the thing about that is just educating the patient is not enough, and an insurance company can turn around and deny your claim, right? If you're not specific on why you're doing patient education, this can also open the doors for so many issues, believe it or not. So the best way to go about if you want to bill patient education is you have to apply it to a service that you are actually providing. So for example, if you're going to bill patient education, you need to say something on the lines of patient education provided during discharge planning with return demonstration of home exercise plan, return demonstration of proper energy conservation techniques, and yada, 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 and so on, right? So if you're going to bill patient education, you cannot bill it by itself, just saying patient educated upon prior to discharge or something like that, right? You need to specify what you are educating on. So if you're educating on bed mobility, if you're educating on meal preparation, if you're educating, whatever you're educated on, you want to specify that in your documentation, okay? So another thing is standardized tests are being used and they're being asked for. Now, I come from the perspective of a skilled nursing facility. Some of these things may be a little different and tailored differently depending on your setting. But because skilled nursing facilities is my forte, a lot of the information you're going to get is going to be based on that, but definitely be sure to do your own research. I know I can tell you right now that the documentation style from a pediatric clinic is totally different from a skilled nursing facility, but still you need to be mindful on how you are documenting. So going back to what I was saying is that standardized tests are often required and it's constantly being utilized in skilled nursing facilities in order to secure proper payment for services. Okay, so whatever you're doing, you want to make sure the services you're training backs up that test. So when I say the services you're providing is backing up that test, that is your goals, right? So if you have long-term goals and short-term goals, you want to make sure that in your therapy sessions that you are working on those short-term goals in order to get to the long-term goals, right? You want to stay within the plan of care. You do not want to be billing for, let's say, meal preparation if there's no goal for meal preparation, right? If there is all ADL goals and now you are just billing for exercise, you need to know how to word in the fact that you're using exercise to get to a goal in the ADL structure. Okay, I hope you understand that. So you want to be careful that you're billing within the lines of what the goals are, because if not, that is opening a door for something to happen. Let's say there's a complaint. For example, maybe you're doing exercise with someone, right? And they get hurt, right? Or I've seen this too in the clinic where people are using modalities. Because somebody said, "Oh, I'm having so much pain today," and the therapist is like, "Oh, let me give you a hot pack, or let me do an ultrasound or something like that." And the person either gets burned from the hot pack or there's an injury that happened. Now you're opening the doors for a lawsuit, right? Because there's nothing in the goals or the plan of care that either has authorized from a doctor's order that they can even use ultrasound or e-stim or hot pack. And also, there's nothing in the goals that backs up that services that you're providing. So these are definitely the do's and the don'ts of documentation. So now let's talk about skilled terms. There's certain terminology that is important for you to use whenever you're documenting, okay? So here's my list of the key terminology that every coder should be using, even if this is outside of a skilled nursing facility. So these terms are implement, analyze, assess, establish, participated, modified, facilitate, safety, measure, instructed. So patient instructed, patient participated, patient implemented. They love these terminologies. So I implore you to definitely go ahead and use them in your writing. And lastly, you want to look at your professional language. So here's an example of not skilled language. The OTA put the patient's shoes on her foot, or the OTA put the patient's shoes on her. Okay, that is not considered skilled terminology, and that is the fastest way to have your documentation scrutinized. Here is the best way to write that. Patient required total assistance with donning and doffing shoes, right? That is more skilled professional OT language. So I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that it sparked a thought on how you've been writing and how you should be writing. If you have any questions pertaining to documentation, if you want me to do a video about SOAP notes, please go ahead, leave a comment in the description below. Also, if you are in need of services and you might be struggling, be sure to go ahead and sign up for my tutoring service. All that information is found in the description below. All right, until next time, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.